Five Nights at Freddy's is my favorite thing in the world. And as much as I adore its gameplay and storytelling, I think most people can agree its best qualities are characters. Now, we know the animatronics are all the rage, and I'm sure I will draw them for you eventually. For today's video, I want to focus on what else but the human characters of FNAF. I just thought that would be like a smaller, more manageable task. So in today's video, I will be drawing every human FNAF character. Now, when I say every character, I mostly mean it's gonna be every character in the games. So I'm not including like spin-off games. And unfortunately, I count Into the Pit as a spin-off game. So no Oswald for this round. And also, I'm trying to stick to characters that we've at least seen a little of. So I'm sure you could say this is not every single human FNAF character, but it's the like 20 most important, at least in my opinion. You guys are going to be mad, but I didn't include Phone Guy. For this video, I went for a slightly less chibi style than like I'm used to. I just thought it would fit the characters better, because unlike MLP, FNAF is very serious. With that being said, please enjoy the video. I worked very hard on it. So I thought it would be fitting to start with arguably the main character of FNAF, Michael Afton. Honestly, who doesn't love Michael Afton? He's got to be one of the protagonists of all time. He has this charm to him, like he's just a simple guy trying to maybe atone for his mistakes. He carries a great guilt with him. I think it's something that the movie captured really well. Just his effortless relatability makes you want to root for Mike. Mike in the FNAF lore went through quite the journey with a lot of transformations, I guess, along the way. So I decided to draw 3 different versions of him. Young Mike, teenage Mike, or young adult Mike, yeah. And purple Mike, lean monster Mike. I think he looks super cute in all 3. We don't have a lot of reference to go off of for FNAF characters. Usually they have a sprite meant to kind of emulate like an 8-bit style. But sometimes we can tell what they look like in our souls. I can tell we all know as a fandom. And I think one thing we can agree upon is that Mike is a handsome young man. It's stated multiple times he looks like his father, and we know William Afton is a handsome man. How else would he be able to get away with all that he did? But yeah, I just wanted Mike to look dependable. He's kind of a stand-up guy, but you know, doing the right thing and all, but he's got like a little bit of angst in him, which I don't blame him. Look at his life. But yeah, so he looks a little angsty in all 3 of them, because teenage Mike obviously was already angsty, probably growing up with a father that the father that he has turned him into a bit of a bully, an angsty, teenagery, rebellious bully. And even though he's not that anymore, I don't think anyone would describe, security guard Mike as a bully. I think he carries almost a new sort of angst, witnessing his brother die and still having to deal with his father. So yeah, and then he dies himself, and so now he's like an angsty zombie. But yeah, specifically, I wanted his hair to sort of carry out through the 3 designs, just to make him, very recognizably Mike in all 3 states. He's also got that just that determined look in his eye that I think really speaks to his character. And there you have Mr. Michael Afton. Stop. There's something I want to talk to you about. Unveil is a 100% AI-free creative platform for artists, writers, creators, and storytellers. Unveil has a small and diverse team of creatives that put you and your art first. Some of the unique features they have is the ability to create character pages where you can show off art of your OC, expand on your character's story, and get down into the specifics of your character by categorizing info under the traits section. Other than character pages, you can continue to tell your stories with full written content support with Markdown and Discovery. Another feature is Worlds, where you can organize a series of character pages, images, and writing all in one place. Perfect if you have several universes for your OCs to reside in. People can also collaborate with worlds, with hundreds of people making art, writing, and role-playing special user-created worlds on Unveil. For some more social aspects, you can follow users, favorite what you like, and comment to connect with others. It said almost every character uploaded to Unveil gets comments and favorites from our incredible community. One thing I think is really cool is their question of the day, where you can answer for your OC and it will appear in the trivia section of your OC's page. Thank you so much to Unveil for partnering with me for this video. Don't forget to check out my link to the service in the description. And let's get back to the video. Next up is, I think low-key the actual main character or protagonist of FNAF, seeing as we really follow his story almost from start to end, and he's probably the most important character in the entire series. The one, the only, William Afton. Don't you just shudder when I say the name? I mean, it's William Afton. Hello, purple guy? The man behind the slaughter? Isn't he just the coolest? Anywho, again, I feel like my designs are nothing special, just, I feel like I follow the consensus on what we expect a character to look like a lot. So, yeah, maybe that speaks to my creativity, but it's William Afton. I mean, I don't know what else to say. We know he's an older gentleman. We know he likes purple, or at least we assume these things. He's pure evil, but he's playful. At the same time, he has like a no-nonsense side. He's all of these things rolled into one. And really not to keep referencing back to the FNAF movie, because we're just talking about the game lore in this video. But Matthew Lillard captured this so well, I think. You could just tell there's something not right with this guy. I was having so much fun drawing this handsome devil with bags and stained teeth that I decided to give him some like alternate outfits. Not really alternate outfits, more like alternate colors for his outfit. I feel like he would have a lot of clothes and, you know, want to switch it up a bit even though the purple's a mainstay.
The 4 Peters.
Moving on to the rest of the... We have Michael's younger siblings, Elizabeth, and the other one, you know, the crying child. One of many, but this is the crying child, not just a crying child. I don't know which one's older, and I don't think anyone does. So I just kind of made it up to interpretation. They're pretty much the same height in this drawing of them, so, you know, maybe they're twins. Either way, I think they're so adorable. Afton had some beautiful children. Too bad, you know, we just have to go one for three. Those aren't horrible results. I'm spreading the curly-haired Elizabeth agenda with this one. I think she has some beautiful waves to her hair. I wanted her skirt and, you know, stockings and Mary Jane's to be kind of uniform-like. I think she's someone who kind of prided herself on being a good kid. Obviously she wasn't good enough, though. Not the best listener. But she's just so cutesy, I love her. And we also have the crying child, I love him as well. I made him look just as pitiful as ever. You know, he's clutching his little psychic friend, Fredbear. Wait a minute. Does Psychic Friend Fredbear have purple hat? Okay, well, if he does, I forgot about that, so... Oh, you thought the Afton family was over. No. Mrs. Afton is real, and she's here to stay. I'm just kidding, by the way. I don't want to say there is no Mrs. Afton, but, like, there is no Mrs. Afton, you know? She's not real. She's not a character, but that doesn't mean like she's not real. Like there could be a Mrs. Afton, but as of now there isn't. But because of that, there is, because we, the fandom, have created a Mrs. Afton, and now there's certain popular headcanons and we agree she at least inspired Ballora. Why else would William make that? I love a character that you could just do whatever you want with their design because they don't have one. This is how I interpret a Mrs. Afton. What a lot of people like to do is, you know, take unexplained, I guess, elements of the children's designs and sort of like reverse engineer into like what the other parent could look like. And William Afton is all about having the best of the best, which is why I think he has such a beautiful wife, as you can see. She is the best of the best. Too good for him, actually, which is why I think, I headcanon them as divorced. Who is William Afton without Henry Emily? I don't know. All I know is that they're very important to each other. It's William and Henry. It's Freddie and Bonnie. Forever and ever. Anywho, Henry's awesome. I love Henry. He's, if William Afton is like the, first top spot, #1 aura farmer in all of FNAF, Henry Emily is like reaching desperately for his crown with that, iconic speech of his. But you can't top the king. Though the Mimic is giving William a run for his money as well. Anyway, Henry. He's sort of like the book design. There's also a lot of, really nice interpretations of him. This one's just mine. Kind of simple. And of course his adorable daughter, Charlotte Emily. Charlie is so cute. She's one of my favorites of the dead children. I tried to depict her as someone sort of shy, but really caring, really sweet. That seems to be the way Henry described her. She out here giving gifts, giving life. Hopefully we see her in the second FNAF movie. Next up we have Michael's friends, the bullies, the FNAF 4 bullies, I guess is just what they're called. I know there's fans out there that are like obsessed with these boys. I think that's one of the cool things of FNAF. There's so many interwoven stories that you really can just like pick a certain part of it and just like find your own little corner and just obsess over that one thing. I'm all for it. Because I've seen like there's people who are obsessed with Elizabeth and Circus Baby and her story, and the tragedy behind that, or people who are obsessed with the relationship between Michael and the crying child, or people obsessed with Cassie and Gregory, or Vanessa's transformation into Vanny and the, dichotomy of that. And I just think that's really cool, Obviously just using human examples since that's what the video's about, but even to the animatronics, some people who are obsessed with just the glam rocks and, will draw them or write about them and their stories and their, how they interact and stuff like that. Again, I just think that's really, really interesting, really cool. So obviously I like FNAF as a whole, but my side of FNAF would probably just be the William Afton Springtrap side, which I know can be kind of basic, but hello, it's William Afton. I just never got into the FNAF 4 bullies side of the fandom where people are creating headcanons and names for these characters, so I really don't know a lot about I know I've been using this word a lot, the consensus about what they're like, so I was just freeballing off the top of my head. I think a lot of their personality can be assumed through the masks they've chosen to wear. I feel like they imply Michael is sort of the scrappy, aggressive one. The Freddy mask kid, I'm sure he at least sees himself as the leader. I bet he was like, oh, I call dibs on Freddy because I'm the leader. Everyone knows Bonnie is a chill guy, which I think means the kid who wears his mask is probably a chill guy as well. There also seems to be like almost a closer friendship between Michael and the Bonnie kid. I know there's evidence for that. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but we know Bonnie kid is just a little more important. And the Chica kid, I feel like in the 80s, okay, like getting Chica, there's like one of two things happened. Either he got last pick, which I think speaks to his character. Maybe he's, more of the runt of the group, or he didn't get last pick and he wanted to be Chica, really bad, which I think is also really like an adorable thought. He wants to be Chica, like who doesn't? But yeah, similarly, another thing I didn't really get into were the missing children. The animatronics were always more important to me. I didn't think the missing children really needed each of their own personalities. They were just sort of a conglomerate in my mind. Just those, those little gray crying children. I mean, obviously I'm happy that they're all separate characters. I think it's cool. And I think there is a lot of interest to go into, these victims and their stories. I think could be really, really interesting if we delved into that. Like, were they all killed on the same day? I believe that is the case. And I believe there is some sort of maybe canon order to, when that happened, who was taken first, yada, yada. But there's just so many questions like, Was it one of their birthdays? Were they friends? Are some of them friends? In my little headcanon that I drew here, I headcanon it to be Gabriel's birthday, who is the kid inside of Freddy. I also headcanon the Bonnie kid. There's a lot of Bonnie kids in this video. The Bonnie kid to be his best friend. Again, I think there's just a pull between characters who like Bonnie and characters who like Freddy. Like a cosmic friendship type thing. You know, just little tidbits we can get of their stories, like what were they doing when they were approached by Spring Bonnie. Obviously, they had to be alone at the time for them to be lured away. I don't think he lured them all away at once, 5 kids running after him. Well, maybe they were all killed at once. I don't really know. I just put them in funky outfits I think they would be wearing at the time, you know. I know they don't exactly look super duper 1985. They look almost a little 90s. Or kind of timeless. But I think, you know, that actually adds something kind of cool to them because, you know, these kids, something about them is kind of timeless. Any, you know, group of children from any decade could be, you know, kidnapped and killed like they were. I also wanted to make them look distinctly different from the kids in the FNAF movie. With like the 2 Susies, we can tell that there's similarities, but there's differences. These are different kids from different universes. I mean, in one universe, Vanessa is William Afton's daughter and Mike isn't. So, well, I guess he's not his daughter in any universe, but what we do know is there's a little bit of extra importance to Susie and Cassidy, you know, because girls are better than boys. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I used this old picture of them that I drew a couple of years back in high school as reference for my like new designs for them. And I noticed that I didn't give Cassidy any shoes. And I think that's because in my headcanon, maybe she was like playing in the ball pit or, you know, she had her shoes in a cubby when she was taken. There's something special about that Cassidy. Big time jump to the future. We have the security breach characters, specifically the security breach kids, Cassie and Gregory, our little superstars. I love them so much. Both of them, they're just so adorable. I love Gregory's sort of like attitude and sassiness. I find him very adorable for that. I wonder if maybe like a younger Michael was similar. I know a lot of people don't like Gregory because he's like a little asshole, but he's just a boy. He's just a little boy. We can't be mad at him for being a little rude sometimes. He's homeless. Why is he homeless? Where are his parents? Yeah, but since Gregory is so, you know, down on his luck, for like contrast, I like to headcanon Cassie as being sort of a rich girl. I feel like you have to be rich to be able to throw like a private party at the Pizzaplex. I mean, it must cost everything to even get in there. It's like Disneyland. And she had her own reserved party where like Roxanne showed up. And I mean, who knows how long Roxanne was like with her for. They probably rented her for like 30 minutes to like 2 hours. And I feel like that could get really expensive since Roxanne's so cool. And none of her friends showed up. So that was a huge waste of money. And for the next security breach era character, we have Vanessa. I love Vanessa. Again, I also just kind of drew her how she looks in-game, with a few, I guess, embellishments, like inspired by some of her earlier designs, where she had, you know, maybe longer, messier hair. I also made her look tired because I think all the night guards in FNAF are tired. They have to deal with so much. But specifically Vanessa, not only is she the only night guard in this whole place and she's chasing around this kid, but she's switching back and forth between Vanessa and Vanny, and I feel like that has to be exhausting. It's probably taking such a toll on her body that she might not even understand the origins of. Moving on to Help Wanted 2. I feel like for a time we all like got somewhere and we like agreed that Cassie's dad is 2 things. Cassie's dad is who we're playing as in Help Wanted 2. I think that part's pretty obvious. He has his little Faz wrench. Her father, you know, there's hints towards it. And then I think we also agree that he is the Bonnie bully. So I just drew a much older Bonnie bully. People are saying he might be almost granddad age by that point, but whatever. We don't really know when Security Breach takes place, and maybe he's just an older father who had, you know, a daughter a little late. Yeah, I think he's awesome and cute. So, yeah. Moving all the way to the most recent FNAF games, or game, Secret of the Mimic, we have the Murray family. I was skeptical going in, but I just fell in love with these characters pretty easily. FNAF's pretty good at that, at least for me. I think Edwin Murray is a very charming and silly little guy. I can see why maybe William and even Henry's first thoughts were, okay, let's take advantage of this guy. He's a complete dork and he has no clue what he's doing business-wise. Like at all. I don't know what the hell he was thinking cooking up those things in his factory of his, but we know how the story ends. His wife is also super adorable. She's so cute and just a nice understanding wife. She's like the only canon wife in FNAF. I cannot get over that like clip of Corey seeing her for the first time.
Oh, that's Fiona? Pretty.
I think that's so funny. Like, oh my god, leave her alone. But no, she's obviously gorgeous. That image was just a little unflattering. It was at a bad angle. And then we have little David. My name is... Yeah, I just drew him as a sweet little kid because that's what he is. Does anyone else find it like hilarious, this idea that like every single bad thing in FNAF like was a direct result of William Afton? Because I think it's so funny. I see people like saying, oh, William Afton ran over David with his car, or William Afton started the fire that killed his wife. I'm not saying those aren't true. In fact, they're my headcanon until proven otherwise. I just think that's hilarious that he's just like that. And last but not least, we have Arnold. We love Arnold. Everyone loves Arnold. He's one of the best protagonists we've had in a long time. I feel like he really like harkens back to the feel of like the original Night Guards, which I guess would mean Michael most likely. He just is so tired. He's so sleepy, just like Michael, and just like Michael in the movie. And he's just trying his best. Again, I think that just makes him so relatable and likable. And that about wraps it up. So let's get to the outro. Wasn't that fun? I don't know, because I haven't finished editing it by the time I'm recording this. Thank you so much for making it to the end of my video. If you liked, please like. If you have something to say, comment. And if you want to see more, subscribe. Now, one more thing I do want to say is you could have seen some of these drawings and the works in progress early if you were a paid member of my Patreon. Yes, that's right. You can become a ghoul for only $5 a month. It's like letting me borrow $5 every month. And you can get a load of cool perks, like seeing some of my drawings early, getting the works in progress as I complete them, member exclusive polls, a chat. I want to make that like a really thriving community over there. And of course you get member shout outs. You also get my favor. Speaking of, let's get to those right now. A super special thank you to my ghouls, Alfie, Kiwi Owl, and Kagami.